questions, a few straight questions. Mr. DPP, what happened to what we studied at the law school? That before arrest, there must be a reasonable and probable cause. Can you imagine, Mr. Chairman, that these days we can even anticipate what the prosecutor will say? Investigations are still ongoing. Therefore, I seek adjournment. And again, when it comes to bail application, the state attorney will stand up firmly and object against bail, the grant of bail, even when that accused person is entitled to mandatory bail. What happened? Secondly, the public is deeply concerned about consistency in the anti-corruption efforts. Why did your office abruptly withdraw corruption charges against some members of parliament who were involved in corruption that was involving the Uganda Human Rights Commission? What happened? You sanction, you cause committal of the file to the High Court, and suddenly you withdraw. And later on, as we are listening to the executive brags that I'm the one who forgave so and so. Now they are as clean as angels. When we read the provisions of the Constitution, specifically Article 120, you must operate independently. What is your answer in respect of such? Lastly, Mr. Chairman, there are multiple pending cases where citizens are arrested or kidnapped by security organs. They are held incommunicado beyond 48 hours, contrary to the provisions of the Constitution. They are tortured, and later on, they are arraigned before court. And the DPP does not complain. Prosecutes as if nothing has happened. Why has your office failed to take a step towards disciplining those security units, the police, the military? Why are they misbehaving? Isn't it true that the DPP is above those who cause arrest? Are you happy as the country is being managed? Are you happy with all these tortures in the basement? Are you happy when you present those suspects before court when they are already injured? The case of Mwanga Chivumbi, sincerely, Matembe, instead of taking some of those people to hospital, you arraign them before court. Look at the case of Lukwago. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, my Shadow Attorney General. I also have the Shadow Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, the Honorable Abdallah Kiwanuka from Mukono.
As I have been stating that I concur, we shall ensure that we work hand in hand to put in place a law to operationalize Article 120. Mr. Chairman, I want to inquire from the DPP why it took him so long after the Supreme Court pronouncement to transfer files and take over those files. Up to now, we don't know your position. We need your position too, as far as that pronouncement is concerned. You had to take over. People are actually, they have ended up now succumbing that now we plead guilty and let us go into amnesty because of those delays to transfer the files. People have been in detention. They have not been tried. You know how the court martial has been operating for the last so many years. Now they got an opportunity for you to take over, then you refused. Then you started playing. Maybe we are waiting for the communication from the Attorney General communicated, but still you didn't take it up. We need to know how far have you gone.
Honorable Abdallah, could that be as a result of lack of a specific law in which they stand to say this is the procedure?
He's going to explain, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, he's going to explain.
That's why I said,
I don't want to help him.
I'm not picking it from you also to bring it to his attention.
I don't want to, Chair, you are trying to give him an answer, but I don't want him also. I don't want him to hide under that. He should not. Honorable Chair, also, there is this thing called plea bargain. People they are taken to court. I don't know how you do that arrangement. Because the person who is in prison, you send them some, I think the agents of the DPP. Personally, I have discovered what happens. You see, when a person is convicted, because at the end of by plea bargain, a person has to be convicted. And then there is some negotiations as far as sentencing are concerned. But what I have discovered, you don't take the initiative to explain to these people. When a person is convicted, he carries on that conviction on his head throughout. And you see with the ECMIS and the systems which are developing, when a person is convicted, it is entered into the system. Whatever, even when he's applying for a visa, it is indicated on his name. People are not explained these things. That you see, when you get convicted, it will be reflected somewhere. And people get denied bail because a conviction is on their head. And then they start regretting. Why don't you take it upon you, since you are participating in this plea bargain issue? And you explained the consequences of a person pleading guilty, not only achieving expeditious trial and disposal of files, but also the consequences of this plea bargain issue is concerned. Finally, Honorable Chair, finally,
thank you, Honorable Abdallah. Let's go to Honorable Company.
Chair, very important one. We have had our previous speaker, who, under several circumstances, I'm sure you are aware of what transpired to her. Several of her properties were confiscated, and it has taken ages for her to be arraigned before court or to acquit, to clear her file so that she gains her liberty. Why has it taken you so long to handle her file and get cleared?
Thank you, Honorable Abdallah. That's quite confusing.
Why confusing?
Is it already with them?
Chair, leave it to them. I have thrown it there.
You know, are you asking the DPP to become an investigator?
I have thrown it there.
No, it's a challenge. Are we asking the DPP to become an investigator?
No. They want hand in hand.
I think let's read Article 20 and appreciate their
Chair, when police is investigating, they always advise and give directions to investigations. So, yes,
but at what
this
stage?
is the law.
Anyway, they will respond. Honorable Company.
Thank you, Chair. For purposes of record, I am Kiwanuka Abdallah, representing the people of Ikiki. DPP, I'm very sure you've been in this office for so many years than the years we, the members of parliament, have spent here. I'm very sure 9th parliament, 10th parliament, 11th parliament have been speaking some of the things we are going to speak today to you. And I think you already say they will have their say, we shall have our way. But we shall still have to say them to you.
Is that a fact, your Honorable Company? Or
I'm coming, and now I'm raising. Give me the chance.
No. We need to be factual in this committee.
Okay. The reason why I'm saying that is that some of these concerns are not coming today. And I'm very sure previous parliament has always raised such concerns. And when you see concerns have existed for years, It does not mean there are no people who have been speaking to this DPP's office. There have been there. Previous members, I'm very sure, have raised similar concerns.
We'll take that to be speculative, but what is the question?
Okay, thank you. My question is, from their mandate to direct the police to investigate any information of criminal nature and to report to him or to her expeditiously, you realize that you can take 2 years, and from there you say we are dropping charges against this person because there has been no evidence. Can we say you have directed the police to expeditiously work on this, and it takes you 2 years to drop charges to know that there was no evidence? If indeed you directed them to expeditiously do this, that's my concern, and it has not been.
Thank you very much.
Therefore,
Thank you very much. Honorable Adeke.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Director, on behalf of the general public, we sense an abuse of your prosecutorial discretion very much. So much selective prosecution. There is a story I read about somewhere in Works where there were so many contracts in contention, so much mismanagement of money, and the files were all of a sudden dropped by your office. Please address this committee on that. Also, on still on the issue my brother Nalukoola, Honorable Nalukoola raised about the prosecution of accused persons whose rights have been clearly violated, and you are in the knowledge of that. An accused person is brought to court. First, is brought to court usually after hours. And I wonder how, I don't know if you pay your prosecutors overtime, but they will show up in court 5:30, 6 p.m. And they will only show up to say, no, we seek an adjournment because it's an ambush, we've just been informed. Then when you look at the status of the accused person who has been brought, some of them cannot even stand in court. They have been bruised. They have been missing for days. But you go on and you sanction and you go on and carry. You're aiding the abuse of human rights by security forces, by police. And you're very culpable because it's something that is done with your knowledge. You accept to take on these matters. You accept to prosecute them. I had one of your staff is in charge of human rights. Does that division matter does it matter in any way to you? Is it something that you consider, or is the office of the DPP totally blind and not concerned with the rights of accused persons? Because you have continuously done this. I was in court as an observer when Honorable Miriam Matembe was taken in, and she was visibly limping. She was pleading and narrating the ordeal that she had been through. I don't know how they quickly secured your signature, Director, but it is in your discretion. But she was brought to court at 5:40. The magistrate was closing, and she was just informed we have a file. And you can see the intention is just to send these people to remand. The prisons are getting full because of how we handle these matters, especially political criminal matters. Us, who may appear like who are the dissenting voices, feel that you have used your discretion to oppress and facilitate the executive arm of government, to suppress the dissenting voices in this country, and to weaponize the judicial system in our country.
Thank you so much, Honorable Adeke Anna Ebaju. Honorable Cohen.
Thank you very much, Chair. I will start, ODPP. You have made the case that you lack legislations regarding money laundering, proceeds of crime, witness protection. How are you dealing with such cases, and how are you prosecuting people when such cases are coming when there is no law?
Yes.
Aren't you using, because, for example, on extradition, the act is outdated. But again, that act, when it's outdated, you are charging people under the same act. And you are the ODPP when under, you are bestowed under the law to be the custodian of understanding these processes. ODPP, on another question, lack of coordination between agencies, between police, because ODPP is at the tail end. You don't expect to mix milk and water and you get soda. So if the police, you're not coordinating with the police, we are having so many cases, and my colleagues have been mentioning them, that those cases come to you when you look at the evidence, there is concocted evidence, and you are at the tail end. Why can't, because under the Article 120, you can direct the police. We have so many cases.
Them may not have the whole team, but at least to have a few heads of the team come back here and respond to these concerns after you present us a response to those, but we want you to present it in this committee.
Chair.
So we may not have the entire team back, but we want to schedule you through the class, respond to these issues.
Chair. Chair.
Preferably next week, so that we have enough time. Now, the same way we did with the Electoral Commission, we shall schedule them for their own day. And we have, because these are very, very pertinent issues.
Chair.
Yes, and human rights. Yes, Honorable Abdallah. Is that a procedural issue?
Thank you, Chair. Yes. We have raised some pertinent issues, which some of them which are urgent in nature. Actually, Chair, I have just discovered that we are live on some TVs here. Many citizens are waiting for the answers.
Yes.
Now, how will they get the answers in writing?
I can assure you, we are live because I authorized it. Even next week we shall be live.
Oh, let us get some urgent answers.
So